Hello, I'm Janelle Mose, Advocacy Director for AARP North Dakota. Thank you for joining us today. Part of AARP's work includes helping to improve the places where we live so we can thrive no matter our age or ability. We all want to live in places where there are transportation options, housing is affordable and works for our needs as we age, there's access to the outdoors, and there are ways to stay connected with loved ones and neighbors. Ultimately, our vision is for the future in which communities, urban, suburban, and rural, are great places for all. Since 2017, AARP has funded 376 Community Challenge grants across the country to help spark change that helps improve communities for people of all ages. This year, AARP received more than 2,800 applications, including 33 from North Dakota. A total of $2.4 million was awarded to 184 grantees across the country, including 4 communities in North Dakota: Minot, Max, Belcourt, and Bismarck. Today, I'm pleased to be joined by one of North Dakota's 2020 grantees to share more about their project. Now I'd like to introduce our special guest. Lisa Wong is a U.S. Public Health Service officer serving the Indian Health Service in Belcourt, North Dakota. She works as a public health pharmacist aiming to find upstream solutions to help vulnerable populations, especially older adults. Welcome and thanks for being here, Lisa.
Thanks.
Great. So let's get started by learning more about your project. Can you tell us why you applied for a Community Challenge grant?
Yep, of course. So coming from a public health background, I believe in upstream approaches to find solutions to large-scale issues, especially in this community where many older adults experience loneliness and social isolation, especially during this time of COVID. Some studies have demonstrated that loneliness and social isolation have led to decreased quality of life as well as increased mortality and chronic health conditions. I wanted to find a way for older adults in nursing and retirement homes to feel included in their community and participate in meaningful activities that decrease these feelings of loneliness.
Wow, that sounds like a really great project and something that is so timely based on where we're at as a community and as a state. So can you tell us a little bit about your particular project?
Yeah, that sounds great. So I'm collaborating with the local retirement here on the Turtle Mountain Reservation to build and improve the available green spaces on their grounds. So these residents are usually just older adults who either have disabilities or are retired, and they live at the home where workers help them function as well as their activities of daily living. So our project here will have raised garden beds just to accommodate for anyone with wheelchairs, to grow both plants and vegetables that can be harvested later on during the year to produce produce for them. And we're planning to incorporate this into their daily diet on their menus that they have at the home. Another reason why for this project that we're planning to do is just to create a welcoming and peaceful area for residents to relax and enjoy the beautiful nature at this time. There's really not too many places where they can travel to right now just to enjoy nature. Another thing that we plan on doing is to work with the local schools to help create the garden beds, as well as just a space available to foster some cultural learning between the age groups. In the long term, this project will aim to foster intergenerational learning, healthy eating habits, and a sense of belonging for older adults in this community.
You know, I think what we've learned over the last several months is how important it is to engage in new and different activities, especially being outdoors. And I really appreciate how you're bridging, looking at the intergenerational piece within how do we work with schools and older adults to make our communities better. I think that's really fantastic. So what are your plans for this fall? Obviously with it being fairly chilly today and we're moving into fall,
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to look beyond that and keep people safely involved in your project?
So right now we're recruiting volunteers from both schools and the local hospital where I work to help build the garden beds. We're meeting with the retirement home later this week to help plan where everything will be. And it is getting colder, so that might present some type of challenges, especially obtaining trees and vegetable and seeds to create that garden bed and green space. So right now we're just recruiting. We do have plans for later on to plant it probably during the summertime, but we do hope to have everything in place by the end of this year.
How do you think your community will respond to your project? Or what's the impact that you think it'll have in the community now and into the future?
I think right now, a lot of the local leaders and local community leaders are fairly supportive. There hasn't been something like this done in recent memory right now, so they've been pretty supportive of it. In terms of lasting effects, I do hope that an increase in community involvement, especially with the elderly here, would be great. And I think this will help out, especially if there is a nice area for their families to come visit, just to spend time with them. I also hope that this project will create long-term healthy eating habits. This community do have a lot of hypertension, diabetes involved with it. So I think creating a healthy eating habit that can be passed on from generation to generation would be very helpful.
That's fantastic, Lisa. Congratulations again on becoming one of the 2020 Community Challenge grantees, and we really look forward to hearing more about your project. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I really look forward to see the great changes that we can make.
Thanks for tuning in today and learning more about these fantastic projects that will be implemented this fall. To learn more about the Community Challenge projects and the other ones across the country, you can visit AARP's Livable Communities website at aarp.org Community Challenge. From there, you can also visit an interactive map that details all the 560 Community Challenge projects that have been granted since 2017 and learn more about communities who are members of the AARP network of age-friendly states and communities. Or you can visit our AARP North Dakota webpage at aarp.org/ND. Thank you for joining us and stay safe.